Now moving on to blood. Now what exactly is the blood? Now every time you have an injury, the red fluid that comes out of your body, that is the basic thing we know about blood, right? Yes. Okay. Now when we were doing the chapter structural organization in animals, we had this topic called as connective tissue. Now what exactly is connective tissue? We know that it is like one of the most abundantly present tissues in our body. Now like the name says, connective, it helps in the connection between one organ to another organ, or between one cell to another cell that is present. Okay, but if you recall, we call blood to be a specialized connective tissue. Okay, now like we know, connective means provides attachment between one organ to another organ or tissue for that matter. But why do I call blood a specialized connective tissue? It is because apart from providing a connection from one cell to another cell, it also has another function, which is the transportation of various substances. But why do I call it fluid connective tissue? Okay, if you look at other connective tissues, okay, the three important things that are present in a connective tissue is the matrix that is present, yes, okay, the cells of the connective tissue, and the fibroblasts that are present. Okay, the matrix that is present, which is the ground substance in the case of connective tissue, is the one that provides the connective tissue the elasticity, the strength, and the flexibility, which keeps the connective tissue stronger that it is. Okay, you can see, for example, your bone, right? The matrix of your bone is composed of calcium salts, keeping it very strong after your teeth that is present. But in the case of blood, you see the fiber matrix is absent. Instead, they have a fluid matrix, which makes them different from the other connective tissues. Okay, so when you someday get into MBBS, you will see, say you take a sample of blood. When you take a sample of blood and you centrifuge it, what is centrifuge? You shake it well. What happens is, you have two fluids that are present. Okay, you get two filtrates that are present. The one filtrate on the top is going to be somewhat pale yellow color kind of fluid, and at the bottom that is settled, you will see a red color fluid that is present. Okay, now what is that yellow fluid that you see? The yellow fluid that you saw is nothing but the plasma, and the red bottom settled liquid that was present are nothing but your formed elements present in there. Okay, so if you ask me about the blood, okay, blood is a fluid connective tissue, okay, which has a fluid matrix. Okay, so overall, if you ask me what exactly is your blood, I can say plasma plus the formed elements will give me the blood. Yes, understanding? Okay, moving on to plasma. Like I told you, when you centrifuge or take a sample of blood and you centrifuge it, you'll have two liquids. On the top, we have a yellow fluid, right? That is nothing but your plasma. So you can see that the plasma is a straw colored. With straw colored, I mean not the kind of straw that you use to drink water, but it is the dry grass. Yes, you might have looked at the color of the dry grass, right? Okay, it seems somewhat very yellowish, like the pale yellowish color. Okay, so that is how your plasma looks. Okay, so it is a viscous fluid. With viscous fluid, I mean it's somewhat not very watery as well, and not very sticky as well. Okay, it stays between very watery and sticky. Okay, so if I talk about plasma, say I have 100% of plasma with me. Okay, in that 100% of plasma, 90 to 92% of the plasma is completely water, which is why you will see it is a very viscous fluid, then being a very gelatin type of liquid. Okay, and if you see, I said blood is plasma plus formed elements. Okay, so blood has 55% of plasma and the rest 45% is your formed elements. Okay, with formed elements, I have RBCs, which is your red blood cells, your WBCs, that is your white blood cells, and your platelets, which we'll be studying further. Okay, now if you see, like I was talking, your plasma is a pale yellow color, that is your straw colored fluid that is present. Okay, who has 90 to 92% of the plasma has water, and the rest 6 to 8% that are present, they are plasmal proteins. Okay, so we have three important plasmal proteins that are present. That is your fibrinogen. So fibrinogen is a coagulating factor that is present. We know how important coagulation is. Yes, coagulation prevents the loss of blood from our body. Okay, so fibrinogen, globulin, and albumin are the major proteins. Okay, so we have 6 to 8% of proteins that are present. Among them, your fibrinogen, globulins and albumins are the major proteins. Okay, so like I told you, your fibrinogen that is present, it is a very important factor that is needed for coagulation of blood. Now you might have asked me, okay, you might have had a question as of now, if fibrinogen is a clotting factor that is present in the blood, isn't that supposed to clot all the time? Why is our blood present in the form of a fluid? Yes, we all get this question, right? Now, this is because the fibrinogen that is present in the form of an inactive form. Okay, so your fibrinogen are activated only when they are in the need. Okay, which is why you will see your blood is in a fluid form always. So next we have globulins. Globulins are a part of our immune system. They help in defense mechanism of the body, and we have albumin, which help in maintaining the osmotic balance of a body, that is having a proper balance of both water and the electrolytes in our body. Okay, so plasma also contains small amount of minerals. You will see, yes, it's not just water. Yes, it's not just water, it's not just proteins. We also have other minerals that are present like sodium, calcium, magnesium, bicarbonates, chlorines and all of that. Okay, and you know, we will also have glucose, lipids and all of that, because since the blood is like the major thing that transport various substances, it will always have glucose and amino acids that are present. Okay, now if you see at the plasma, like I told you, fibrinogen is present in the inactive form, and they are activated only when they are in need or when there is loss of blood from our body. Okay, now if you see, plasma without the clotting factors is called as serum, which means plasma, I have plasma when I separate the fibrinogen. Okay, it's not just fibrinogen, we also have prothrombins and all of these that are present in the plasma. When I separate the plasma from these clotting factors, then the plasmal content that is obtained with me is called as the serum. So basically, plasma minus the clotting factor is called as the serum.